Cool.
Good morning, everyone. Lovely autumn day here, and we're in an orchard, pretty large orchard, and we're looking at vines here, and just going to look at the parable that's used quite a few times, whether or not it's olive trees or a vineyard and so on. There's a beautiful parable that runs through the Bible, and this is a perfect place to explain it, since many people don't know where their food comes from and how all these things relate directly to the Bible these days. But if we have a look out here, this is how the vine looks without any real training. After a season of growth, it's all tangled and messed, and there's a whole lot of interesting stuff in here that we can show you, and you'll be able to see all the Bible verses that relate to this. So we've started just in here. It's a little bit easier to see some of the things. So we have these lovely branches here. These are a nice straight branch. These are what we might call a righteous branch, and you can see they've got nice buds on it. That's where all the fruit's going to come from. At the moment, they're up in the air, and they're a little bit, I don't know, they haven't been trained, and you can see what they start doing is they lose concentration, and they start to become a bit twisted, and perhaps at the ends of them they don't quite understand what they should be doing. And what we need to do is we need to disconnect them from that nonsense. And Cecile is our video person today. Hello, Cecile.
Hello.
And she is going to be playing the role of the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit's job is to convict us of righteousness, of sin, and a judgment to come. And so that's a training job. And so the Holy Spirit will be pulling these down and training them onto the wires, getting them trained to produce fruit, bringing these nice straight righteous branches. And then we have other branches that have decided not to produce fruit anymore, like these ones. They're getting old, and that's where they have produced fruit, but they've decided to stop, and they're no longer any good. And so the pruner's job is to come in and kill them, chop them off, and they end up falling on the ground like this. And we hear that the branches that decide to stop producing fruit, they end up being cut off by the master pruner and falling on the ground, and they'll end up getting bundled up and cast into the fire. These things do burn. Soon. Some of them don't like to burn, obviously. Where it was going to go. Yeah, and that's another part of the parable. And this is the vine, and you can see this is where everything is attached to. Down here, just down here, if you see a really good example of grafting. So what's happened here is this is the vine, and these two are brand new graftings that have been grafted into the vine. These branches aren't the original branches from this vine. They've been grafted in here, and they're being trained up here, and they're getting trained all the way up here, and they're going to get laid in, and they aren't the original branches from this, but they've been trained and grafted into this original vine, and they're going to become new branches on the vine. And there's a very, very important parable about the branches that get grafted in. We know that the vine is Yehoshua, and we know about the Ruach HaKodesh who trains us, and we know about the pruning that happens. And yeah, here we just see what you might call wild branches or foreign branches that have been grafted into the vine. And but these are of the same plant, these are the same plant, it's the same type of plant, but from a different origin. Okay, and if we look back into here, we also get where was it? There were some nice examples of some dry branches, good dry branches somewhere in here. I don't know. These old dry branches are from a while ago, but yeah, there were some dry branches in here that have basically died but are still on the branch. And dried branches don't produce any fruit either, so they all need to come off. All of this stuff needs to come off, and we end up making. Oh, this is where we were. We end up making a lot of space for these nicer branches, producing space for them, and taking these ones off that don't produce fruit. This interesting thing is these branches here. They have just decided that all they're going to do is cause havoc and nonsense, and they twist around, and they come up here and they try and choke the straight branches. Their whole purpose of being part of the vine really is just to cause trouble, and we know that it says in the Bible that there are certain servants who persecute my servants, and they will be cut in half and appointed their portion with the unbelievers. So yeah, there's lots of examples of that in here as well. And yeah, and when we do the training, trying all these on, we in the next time that the plant, this spring when the plant goes to push, it'll start producing nice little shoots out, and some will produce a small amount of fruit, some will produce 10-fold, 100-fold, many bundles of fruit. And you can see the power of one of the bunches right here. This was a bunch. It's not actually growing in the right place, that's why it never got picked. But you can see the power of just a few of these little branchlets for producing fruit, and so yeah, we get hundreds of tons off an orchard like this. But we also have branches. Let me have a look. That are proud and they don't like to be trained. Like this one. It's growing in the wrong direction. It's not trying to be part of what's going on here. It's going in a different direction. It's going in its own direction. And it's not going to be that useful, because when I try and bring it around, it's probably going to try and snap. See, it doesn't want to be trained, and it's stiff-necked. And doesn't want to be part of what's going on. It wants to do its own thing. So that's another example of what's happening. So those things have to come off as well. They're not part of what needs to happen. And we know that perhaps this here, these wires, might represent maybe the Torah as well, the training onto the Torah. And if you want to come into alignment, you can produce a lot of fruit. Otherwise, you're useless to the vine. And all you would do is draw nutrients away from the vine in order to cause trouble. And it could also be like the church, for example, the ecclesia. Anyway, there's lots of different things going on here. Do you remember of any other interesting analogies that we have? Cecile?
Not really.
The dry branches, the twisty, naughty branches that get cut off, the straight branches that we're looking for to produce the fruit, and the dry branches and the branches that have gotten out of trouble. These are interesting as well. These branches here. This thing here is just a big old piece of wood. Right, and it hasn't been doing anything for a long time. Look, it comes all the way back, and it twists and it twists and it turns, and it basically has got nothing on it. Nothing except for maybe one here. And so it's taking up a lot of space, making a lot of noise, and doing a lot in the church, but actually doesn't really produce anything. So sometimes the pruner take the whole lot off. It was even trying to take away from this side and produce fruit on the other side. See, so the whole thing doesn't really add to us. So we had to take it away, taking off the vine, because for its size it wasn't producing much fruit. Anyway, there's an endless array of analogies in here, and yeah, the vine and the root is huge under here. It's as big as what's above the ground, what's down underneath under the ground. The root, sure, is actually a much bigger foundation, and it's at least as big on top as it is below. So, okay, thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed this little chat. Okay, bye-bye. One other thing that we forgot to say is just to show you what the end result looks like after we've been through and pruned. We've got all the debris, all of the broken dead branches, dried branches, twisted branches, all the things that are useless. But this is what it looks like once it's been finished, and the Ruach architect had done some training. You see these nice straight branches. They've all been trained onto the vine. They're all going to produce branches out here with lots of bundles of fruit. These ones, some of them are not so big, but they're doing the right job. This is a nice straight branch, a righteous branch, and yeah, the result's quite lovely, and it should produce probably maybe around 200 kilos of fruit, this one little area just here next year. It's very nice, and yeah, this is what it looks like after the training's been done. There's still some branches I've got to trim off on some of these, but yeah, down here you can see how lovely all the straight branches are, the ones that are going to produce all the fruit, all attached to the vine, ready for another season. Okay, thank you. Okay, it's about the 10th hour of the day, sun's getting low. Just a couple more things to show you. Here's one of these old dry branches. Very, very dry, very brittle. But around the back here, you can see it's just rotten. It's disconnected itself from the vine. The vine's still alive, but it's disconnected from itself from the vine, and because it got disconnected and the rot set in, well, it just dried and died, you see. And you don't even need to cut it off. I'm sure these things burn. Maybe it's not hot enough. It definitely smells like it's going to burn. You can hear it crackling. The heat. Oh, it was burning. Anyway, maybe I need a bigger fire. And over here is another interesting phenomenon to think about in the parable. Is this thing here? See this? That there is a scar from a zebub. A zebub. Well, what's a zebub, you hear? Well, Baal zebub. Baal, Lord, Baal, zebub, Lord of the flying ones. Well, a little flying one came and bit the straight vine, and that is where it makes it weak. It's a very weak point in the vine where the zebub had a little attack. It's an insect that walks along and bites and nips the vine and tortures the righteous vine. And the vine is very breakable at that point, where there's been an attack from a zebub, one of the flying ones. The Lord of the flying ones must have sent a zebub along to this righteous branch. And yes, anyway, okay, it's a more interesting vineyard parables. Okay, good evening.